Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's fly an aircraft that we haven't touched in a while, which is going to be the Citation Longitude. It's just gotten an exciting update from Navigraph, who have released their charts plugin for the G3000 and G5000 avionics suits. Obviously the Longitude has the G5000 installed, so we will have Navigraph charts available inside the cockpit right now. Let's take the airplane out for a quick hop over to Patron, which is just going to be a quick 25-minute flight, which I am very much looking forward to. So, again, we are going to focus on the Navigraph charts here. Now, they are not entirely new on this airplane, to be honest. The update has been released in the midst of the beta testing of the Aircraft and Avionic Update 2. So that means that it has been released about 2 weeks ago already, but nonetheless that doesn't make it any less exciting. So I'm really looking forward to this little flight. And I would say we head right into it and go flying. So, flight plan, we are currently standing in Cologne, provided that this works, and it does now. And we're going to fly towards Paderborn, Echo Delta Lima Papa. For the departures, we are, as always, going to fly on VATSIM, and we do right now not really know which runway they're going to use, but I suppose runway 06 is going to fit us quite well. Otherwise, runway 1 for right would always work as well, but let's just about start with runway 06. And looking at this, it's going to be the PODIP 7 kilo departure then. We can load that up, and then we can go ahead en route. We want to fly via Yankee 867. Yes, that's it. Towards Pelon. And from Pelon we'll have a standard arrival into Paderborn that we can look up in flight. We'll have sufficient time available. Okay, so that is that. Then we go ahead into the utilities and got all this lovely stuff over here. Let's start with the weight and fuel. We can set that. Payload, we have 5 passengers on board and 0 cargo. For the fuel on board, well, we can just about synchronize that up, like this. And for the landing, that is looking good, so we're going to stick with this. Okay, return me to the screen, and then we can go over into the aircraft systems, have a very quick look over our system controls. Select the 21 degrees, that is okay for us. It's a tiny bit colder, that is fine. Cabin pressure, we'll keep it normal, and the landing elevation is set automatically. For the lights, we are just about going to keep everything in auto. Synoptic pages, let's quickly check that our airplane is actually okay to fly. And we can see we got everything good on the electrical, we are looking good on the hydraulics. Fuel, good as well. Anti-ice. The environmental control system, flight controls, we'll check en route, and the pre-flight stuff is still a little bit of it pending. And our summary page. So that is just about what we have available now, but let's have a look at this. First of all, we got a SimBrief tab there, and we can basically simply request our SimBrief flight. So how about we do that and import our SimBrief. And you can see this has already automatically loaded up our entire route and our arrival as well. So let's quickly continue on with our performance, and we want takeoff data, Cologne, runway 06, and then the weather, we can simply load it from the meter. Temperature currently 18 degrees outside. Runway is checked. Takeoff config, where it's going to be a flap 1 takeoff. We don't need anti-ice, reverse is stowed, and that's all looking good. So accept the takeoff data, and that's basically it. So let's go ahead and prepare for our charts now. So we can see we've got our charts over here, and let's go right into it. Cologne Airport. Also, I want it in full screen map over here, because when I go full screen over here, it means that the right hand side is now controlling my inset on the primary flight display. So over there, we can now control it from the right hand side, and I am looking for my departure chart, which is going to be the PODIP 7 kilo that it's automatically selected So like this, we got our departure charts right on the primary flight display. Isn't that cool? And like this, we can properly align it, and that's all I'm looking for. On the same side, we can use our multifunction display for our ground chart, and like that, we are set up very nicely. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty much this selection completed. And with that, I would say it's just about time that we get our IFR clearance and get flying. I'm flying in VATSIM, however, it's a Monday morning, there is not too much happening, however, there is a tower controller online, so let's go ahead and call him. It's going to be 124... What's it doing there? 124975.
Lining on runway 26.
Guten Tag, schönen guten Tag. Fraction 715 Echo, no HOTAS available. Request startup and clearance to Paderborn. Is he eventually going to answer? Köln Tower, hello, Fraction 715 Echo, no HOTAS available. Request startup and clearance to Paderborn.
Fraction 715 Echo, Köln 1 Tower, hello. Check information, Mike. Cleared Paderborn Aerodrome, Podit 7 Kilo departure, flight plan route, climb by sit 5,000 feet, squawk 1000.
Fraction 715 Echo. Yeah, we see you just put the HOTAS online. We'll check the HOTAS. Cleared to Paderborn, Podip 7 Kilo, flight plan route, climb 5,000, squawk 1000.
Fraction 715 Echo, read back correct.
Okay, so kilometer 5,000 feet. Come on. Wait. Why's that giving me... Here we go. So, kilometer 5,000, and the squawk is going to be 1,000. Unrealistic, but they always do that on VATSIM. In Cologne, they don't have the equipment for that. Okay, so, with that, I would say we are pretty much all prepared. We can put the toga mode active, and like that, let's go ahead and start up our APU. And we've got startup clearance, so record light on, anti-collision light on. I'll put the floodlights on as well, because it just makes everything inside the aircraft visible a little bit nicer. And like that, we should be ready to go in a moment. APU is starting up, as we can see down here. Here we go, APU is running. Quick check, APU generator is actually on, very good. External power off, and then we basically can leave everything in auto down here, so let's go ahead and start up our engines.
Section 715 Echo, are you able to depart by intersection Tango?
Direction 715 Echo FM.
Roger.
So let's start the engines. I know some of you told me this is not the correct procedure, but you've seen I've just pressed the starter at first and nothing happened, so... For that reason, I am afraid that we have to start the engine this way, which is unrealistic, as a couple of you said correctly, but it seems to be the only way how I can get those engines running at the moment.
Weather 31, wind variable 6 knots, runway 06, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Okay, good start on 2, let's start 1.
Behind departing traffic, line up runway 06 and wait behind it.
Airbox 37 Taco behind, departing traffic, line up runway 06 behind.
Okay, 2 good starts. So, the engine generators are on. APU off, flaps 1. Quick check of the speed brake, make sure everything is working there. And then we can check the flight controls. So, full up, full down, full left, full right, and the rudder. Full left, full right. Flight control track is good. And back to the charts over here, and I want the full screen display, please. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Fraction 715 kilo, request taxi.
Fraction 715 Echo at Bravo, give way to crossing Eurowings A320. Taxi to holding point runway 06 via Kilo 1 Bravo Tango.
Fraction 715 Echo taxi, holding point runway 06 via Kilo 1 and Tango confirm. There shouldn't be any Bravo on that. That was
November, Fraction
that
715 Echo. Is your position on Victor apron near to taxiway Kilo 1 or Kilo 2?
We're in Victor 211.
Roger, then taxi to holding point runway 06 via Kilo 2 Tango.
Kilo 2 Tango, holding point 06, fraction 715 Echo. I don't know why they can't manage this apron correctly. He apparently thought I was over there. Okay, anyway. Taxi light on and park and brake off. Off we go.
Yeah,
So, clear on the left.
Tango, wind 320 degrees, 6 knots, runway 06, clear for takeoff.
Yeah, Fox 3 for Taco, clear takeoff, 06, goodbye.
Lufthansa 31, can I change to Unicom?
Lufthansa 31, monitor Unicom, water to decimalize, goodbye.
Goodbye, change to Unicom.
Okay, Kilo and Tango. Tango is where we are right now. And if you check the charts from here on, all the way straight ahead to runway 06. So we can see our SID is basically taking us straight ahead over here. And that means we can arm the nav mode and Fraction 715 Echo, line up runway 06. Okay, runway 06, line up. That means we can turn on the pulse light, the landing light, and turn off. Oh, and what I totally forgot is, obviously, we can also use the seatbelt signs, which are newly implemented, and arm the emergency lights. Okay, line up runway 06, that's what we're gonna do. No takeoff is vanished now as well. Clear right. 06, clear for takeoff, fraction 715 Echo. Okay, clear for takeoff. And this is pretty much all we need. Let's bring up our map. And take off. Press set. 80 knots. E1, rotate. Ew, that was a little dynamic there. Europe, port of freight. Okay, throttle change. VNAV is basically controlling it, so we are just going to follow the flight director here. And in an earlier video on the Longitude, I said that I couldn't get the yaw damper to engage. Now, actually, I got corrected there by somebody who knew the plane better than I did. That apparently the yaw damper is fully automatic in the version of the Longitudes that working title modeled here. Okay, automatics on. And we can continue our climb. We're looking at flight level 170 today, which is set. So we're outside the immediate terminal area. The airplane is accelerating towards 250 knots. And I just love it to have the chart available on the primary flight display. Thank you very much for that, Navigraph. Okay, so standard, passing 54, climbing 170. This is just superb, isn't it? So is the rate of climb, by the way, 7,000 feet a minute. I love it. And again, we aren't too heavy, and this plane's got a lot of power. The only thing I'm missing is the heads-up display, but I have a little bit of hope we might see one, seeing that they are doing the heads-up display in the 787 now. So who knows, maybe with a bit of luck they will also include it in the Longitude soon. They're passing level 100, lights off, and seems mostly smooth, so seatbelt signs off. So let's have a very quick look then at what is actually new with the Navigraph inset. Basically, we can load our charts on the inset display over here, and we can use them also on our center display. And you have like the typical features available there, meaning mostly that we have the split screen, we have the full screen as we want, and we are slowly approaching our final flight level. Let's start reducing our vertical speed here, 3,000 feet a minute. Then we can go 2,000 feet a minute. And that makes the level off a little bit smoother there. Okay, so we got the full screen and the split screen. Now let's start with the split screen over here. So like that, you could, for example, open the ground chart over here, and then you could use your right-hand side screen in order to use, for example, the SID chart. Or you can use the GCAS as I have it right now, or something like this. You could put your navigation display onto your primary flight display, and then use the right-hand side over there in order to display your approach chart, while at the same time having up the system display over here, which is another possibility on how those things might be used. Or you just go ahead and do whatever you like. But in my opinion, my favorite chart setup is ground chart on here, at least when we are close to the ground, and then having the arrival and departure charts on the primary flight display. Now, what's really worth mentioning there is that in real life, when you touch down, the charts are automatically going to change to the relevant ground chart of the airport. Now, that is something that is not implemented quite yet, however, it is something that they do want to implement for a future update. So you can read that up in the Navigraph forums. I'm going to link the thread in the video description below. For us, however, let's go ahead and start setting up for the approach. And we are going towards Patron, Echo Delta Lima Papa, and bring those charts up. So, start with the general overview of the airport. We can see 2,180 meter runway, and we are probably going to land on runway 24. Let's have a quick listen into the HOTAS, 125.725, and hope that this is working.
On cab OK.
temperature 14, dew point 8 QNH 1024 Paderborn information Foxtrot. Out attention. Departure frequency for all departing aircraft is Unicom on frequency 122.800. Paderborn information Foxtrot. Met report time 0850 Zulu. Expect ILS approach runway 24 runway good use 24. Transition level 60. Wind variable 5 knots. Cab OK. Temperature 14. Dew point 8 QNH 1024 Paderborn information Foxtrot. Out attention. Departure frequency for all.
Okay, so they have information Foxtrot there at the moment. Now, what we can do, I'm going to drag the navigation display over onto our left screen for now. And then I'm going to use the big screen in the middle over here to start setting up for our arrival. So we can see we've got Paderborn there at the moment. By the way, nice little feature in case you aren't aware. You go to chart options, then you go to fit width, and you can adjust it. Or what you can do as well is that you only show a certain section of the plan. For example, if you show only the plan section, you're only going to see this. Now if you go to header, you get this. If you go to minimums, you basically get this. So that's quite a nice way to see the different sections of your charts there. Let me show you that in the example of the approach chart, where it is even more useful. So you go to the approach chart, and this can be quite a lot of information. So let's say you only want the plan page. Then you can get this straight away. However, you can go ahead as well and just view your minimums, for example. Or you can simply view the header of the chart. Or the profile view, which is a really good option there for flying non-precision approaches. So loads of different options there that Navigraph have implemented, and that is really, really nice, I have to say. Alternatively, just go on all, and you get the entire chart, and then you can use the button on the lower side over here in order to zoom and zoom. So that's kind of the controls you have available for those charts. Click on it, then you can drag it around, and all the good stuff over there, basically. Okay, for us today, we're going to plan the approach to runway 24. And for that, we can quickly go ahead into the procedures menu, by the ILS 24. Let's take the procedure number 1 here. Now we've got the entire approach in, and it's calculating our top of descent. However, we are probably going to fly it a little bit different. If we look at the chart, then we can see that this is basically leading us to the NDB, and then you fly a standard approach like that. The teardrop, now we probably are not going to do that. However, for the sake of demonstration purposes only, in real life we wouldn't do that. For the sake of demonstrational purposes, we are going to do it, because it means we have all the good VNAV guidance available. Talking about VNAV, we quickly have to set that up as well. Landing data, landing runway 24, weather, let's have a look into the META. It's 34085, slightly variable, Carboc 13 degrees, 1024, so you can just about load that stuff here automatically. Runway, we take it like this, configuration full, anti-ice off, and that looks all good. And then we can accept the landing speeds. That's going to automatically load them over to our primary flight display. Okay. And that is pretty much the approach setup over here. Last thing we can do, we can quickly bring the charts up on our PFD. So, arrival. This is the star that we are currently going to fly. Move that in a little bit, please. That looks better. We're joining the star towards the NDB over at the field, and then we're going to fly the teardrop approach from there. So that's our setup. Then we can prepare this already for the approach charts if we need them, and like this we can basically prepare the entire arrival in order to have the charts visible on our primary flight displays. Really cool there that we have this available now. The last thing we got to do, and I'm quickly going to use this, and you can give me the changing the chart options. This is what I want. I want the minimums, please. So 874. 874 barrel. Okay, enough setup should basically be done automatically by the system, so we don't need to worry about that. Now this is all we need. Approaching the top of descent, let's set the altitude down. And then we can push the VNAV button. And VNAV is going to initiate the descent now. Do note, we have all those lovely options available to us to configure VNAV to our liking. Now let's start by turning the seatbelt signs on, since we are going to descend rather rapidly. Now there is our field already, so we are quite close. And do note, we have all those lovely VNAV options here. If we go into flight plan and then VNAV, and over here you can set the descent schedule targets, the speed limit below 100, and the terminal area speed limit. So that's quite nice that we have all of those available. I really have to say that the Longitude became a really good aircraft. So with the beta version of the 787 at the moment, if that turns out to be as good as it is expected, and then we get the Longitude like it is right now already, then I'm really positive that Microsoft Flight Simulator is turning into a pretty good simulator by default already, which is something that I really appreciate. So very good job there on behalf of Working Title, who are bringing us all of this. Okay, cleared in altitude, so let's go to locals, set 1024, passing 12.7, descending 5000, no flag standby set. We're about to enter the approach area, so let's get up the ILS chart for runway 24. I'd like to bring this down a little bit here, so that we can actually see the important part there. One thing you have to keep in mind is that, you know, the size of those displays in real life is really huge. Keep in mind that, you know, this is the control column. The displays are almost as big as the control column, so you can really see the entire chart while you have it up on here in real life, compared to in Flight Simulator, where you normally have everything a little bit smaller than it is in the real world. Nonetheless, we're joining the outbound track for our teardrop approach. Let's see how well VNAV is going to manage the entire approach. And let's see, we're joining the NDB outbound, so we can go down to 3000. Here we go, 3000 feet set. We're a little bit fast right now. Let's use a bit of speed brake in order to get our speed down. We are flying through airspace class Echo at the moment, so we really shouldn't be doing more than 250. Right, nice to see. The localizer is pre-tuned and the course is pre-selected. So by the time we turn inbound, everything is hopefully just going to switch around automatically. And we can see the system is predicting a slight overshoot over here. We don't want that, especially not with other traffic in the area at the moment. Let's see, 3,500 below, so that guy's probably joining the ILS over there. We don't know that, but we can surely find out. Outbound traffic, fraction 715 Echo, established on the teardrop for runway 24. Okay, let's start getting our speed down. Switch to manual, and you can give me 210 knots. Then I'm going to use a little bit of speed brake here in order to reduce our airspeed, so that we can actually make the turn radius. You can nicely see this on the navigation display over here. So, when our speed gets down, we should be able to make that turn. Okay, speed brake in. So the lights are pretty much all on. Let's call tower. You can see our glide slope coming in over here.
Navigation Zero, are we clear to a new approach after Paderborn in DB? Roger.
Paderborn Tower, hello, fraction 715 Echo, turning onto the ILS runway 24.
Fraction 715, Paderborn Tower.
Okay, approach round. Going slightly through the localizer here, so looks like, look at that, the airplane is only using 20 and a bit degrees angular bank, so it looks like it's really trying to track the course that it's pre-predicted here, which is, I'm not sure if that is actually what the airplane is supposed to do, probably not. I would expect this to be a dynamic calculation, so since we reduced the speed, I would have expected this radius to become tighter in order to make that approach, but doesn't look like it, which is fine, however. We're approaching the final approach fix now. The ILS is on, so theoretically speaking, it should intercept any moment. And flap 1. I said theoretically it should intercept. Practically, it doesn't seem to do it, so autopilot off. Manual thrust. I could have sworn the airplane should have transitioned automatically from the GPS modes that are active at the moment, like it does right now. I could have sworn this should have happened much earlier. Okay, on the localizer. A little bit high on the glide slope there, but the speed brake is pretty effective over here, so we're getting it down.
Blackhawk 1 after departure, join right hand limit runway 24, wind 38 with.
Glide slope capture.
Blackhawk 1 after departure, joining
Left 2.
traffic circuit 24.
Gear down.
Blackhawk 1, are we geared for takeoff? Blackhawk 1 cleared for takeoff, runway 24.
Fraction 715 Echo, we're on a 2.5 mile final, runway 24.
Final fraction 2715 Echo going around for.
Why? Okay, disconnecting from Watson. I'm fed up with those idiots. Not gonna go around because he cannot manage his arrivals. I don't know what it is in the recent days, but Watson seems to have turned total idiots. Just think of yesterday's live streams and now this. Here's a guy for takeoff when we're 2.5 miles out. Like, how stupid can you be?
200 minimums.
Okay, continue.
100. 50.
Okay, and we're down. So, speed brakes up. Reverse. And onto the exits. Okay, runway is vacated. Unfortunately not on VATSIM anymore, but I don't care. If they're idiots, then we aren't flying there. Okay, flaps up, speed brakes up, and landing lights. That should be all we need. Okay, continue to the parking position, and let's bring up our ground chart. As said, this should automatically have transitioned to the parking chart, but that is something Navigraph said that they are still working on. So we're just about going to do it like this. Here. Come on. But we're going to do it like this. That's what we're looking for. So we're coming down here from Delta at the moment. Over here, and then we're just gonna park somewhere over here. If my bloody simulator wouldn't put vehicles on there. Why? Man. Simulator is really turning into a big pile of garbage these days. Well, then we're gonna stop over here. Not the gateway I wanted to go, but I suppose that's what we have to live with these days. Okay, parking brake is set. I forgot to start the APU. Do we have ground power available? No? Okay. In that case, let's quickly start up the APU. I already shut down one engine. APU doesn't... Luckily, the APU doesn't take too long to start up over here. And here we go. APU is up. And shut down the other engine. Okay, and that's it. Welcome to Patron. Nice little short flight over here. I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Now, I really like how the Navigraph charts are making our life a lot easier in the G5000 and in G3000. Navigraph did an awesome job with those. Congratulations once more. I'm really looking forward to the updates that you guys have promised with the moving ground charts and stuff like that. And in the meantime, I would like to say thank you very much for watching, everyone. I sure hope that you enjoyed this flight. And if you did, then do let me know in the comments below. Like, comment and subscribe, as that does really help out the channel. And if you really like what I'm doing, I would appreciate to see you as a channel member, which is going to give you exclusive early access to new videos before they're released for everyone else. Or if you just prefer a one-time donation, you can do that using the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again hopefully very soon.